Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. Galen Unall from Life South. He's on the line with us, brought to us by the good folks at Penn Flooring and Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center. Hey, if you were listening, if you've been listening to, trying to listen online to the show on WOCA at YouTube, we've been experiencing technical difficulties. It's dropped me twice. It's back up now, but who knows? We're at the mercy of the internet. So, you know, I don't know if maybe YouTube doesn't like me, so they're censoring me. I don't know. Censorship is everywhere, Galen. It's everywhere.
That's a fact. That's an absolute fact.
100% that's a fact. But they're not censoring us today as we talk about the Super Bowl. Coming up, the Kansas City Chiefs, playing this like it's a regular travel day, like they're not the home team, like they're playing it just like it was a road game instead of a Super Bowl. You know, they're not even arriving in Tampa till tomorrow.
Right.
Just like they do in a regular road game.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, they're all the usual Super Bowl trappings aren't there. They've been there. They were there last year. I don't think that's a bad idea. That doesn't. I mean, Tampa is too. They haven't moved into their team hotel until tomorrow, so I don't think that's a bad idea.
No, and it keeps you doing what you do every week when you're playing football. If you do the same travel schedule, then why go on a Monday, you know, the week before the game and spend the whole time in the city?
If you don't have to.
If you don't have to.
If you don't have to. Right.
Right.
I agree with that.
Because you know what happens when you do stuff like that? You have Leroy Butler get pulled over, get arrested for trying to solicit a prostitute. That's what happens.
Or the center for the Raiders, Barrett, who crossed the border into Mexico and didn't even make the game. And
Right.
Never recovered mentally.
Right. Couldn't get back across the border because he was, hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leroy Butler, I remember that cost, the Falcons.
Leroy. It's Leroy.
Leroy. Whatever. Moron is what it should be.
One of the great Florida State Seminoles.
Yeah, well, he crushed me in the fact, getting arrested. Oh, it was ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So the game is Sunday, 6:30 kickoff. They say now. Yeah. Usually it's like 6:22, 6:24 or something. But now
they
say
pushed it back or something. They pushed it back because of the weather a little bit, apparently.
Well, the weather actually was supposed to be horrible come game time, but now it looks like the front's going to move in late Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, rain all night Saturday, rain in the early morning Sunday, and by game time, according to Tom Sorrells, my trusted meteorologist at Channel 6 in Orlando, according to Tom Sorrells, at game time, it should be about 10% chance of rain. Sun should be in the sky. Sun should be setting, actually, about that time. So, looks like
Central Florida.
Looks like it'll be pretty good.
Right?
Yeah.
Welcome to Central Florida.
You know what's going to be
not
key?
Not ever change plans because of weather.
You know what's going to be key? Because it depends on how much rain Tampa gets. And then which team and which team's equipment manager properly guesses which studs are the right studs to put in the bottom of those cleats.
I think
Are you there?
They both played. Did I go through that little dead
You
zone?
went through that little dead spot. Start over again.
All right. So there's two things that are the key. One, both teams have played in that stadium this year, right? I mean, Kansas City's played there, and the Bucks play there all the time. Two, that field drains exceptionally well. What we have to be concerned about is lightning. Granted, there's no crowd, as big a crowd, so they don't have to worry about that as much. But don't be surprised if there's a lightning delay. And if it does rain, that really benefits the Bucks, in my opinion, because their running game is much better than the Kansas City Chiefs, especially since the Chiefs have they're playing two of their backup offensive linemen. They're going to have to throw the ball a whole lot more than the Bucks.
You know what I'm surprised?
So I hope it's sloppy.
You know what I'm surprised of? The line opened at 3, went to 3.5. It's back down to 3 now.
Yeah, Yeah, and
I expected
think
it to go.
a lot.
I expected to go 5.5.
Me too. But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that those offensive linemen aren't going to play, and that Antonio Winfield Jr. is going to be able to play. And I think those are two factors that people are putting in. It's going to be a fun game. It really is.
I like the money line bet.
Fun game.
I like the money line bet. Money line's got the Bucks at plus 145. So for every dollar you bet,
Correct.
you make $1.45. I like that money line.
Right. That's not I'm a big fan of the money line if I don't parlay the over and the spread. So I haven't decided which way I'm going to go, but I do like that number.
I like that money line,
do.
and I prefer betting the money line too. I like that number. Hey, and by the way, you know Mike Florio from Pro Football Talks?
Sure.
He picked the Bucks yesterday on his show, 30-27 over the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, he's a huge Tom Brady guy. Again, can the Bucks cover Travis Kelce? That to me is the matchup, the marquee matchup of the whole game. If you see Travis Kelce, if he catches 10 balls, the game is over. If he catches any more than 5, the Chiefs win. So
I think the game will be. I think the game will be decided on the first 2 offensive possessions of the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's interesting.
If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can make them go 3 and out on one of those 2, then I think they've said that our defense is here to play. If they go down and score on both those, the game's over.
It's interesting. Kansas City is a confidence-based team, and the Bucs defense is definitely confidence-based. So that's not a bad take. The Bucs cannot chase points.
No.
Right, and that's what happens if they get down 14-0. They're going to be chasing points and pressing. Granted, the good news is Brady's been there several times where he's trailed late in the game and won it. So he's also been in the lead and lost it. So
you had to bring that up,
didn't you? He's done it both ways.
You had to bring that up.
No, I mean, he did it against the Rams. He did a come-from-behind victory against the Rams. He did a come-from-behind victory against the Rams twice, actually, and the Falcons. So, I mean, he's been there 10 times. And so from a confidence base, if you're the Bucs, there isn't a situation that Tom Brady hasn't witnessed in the Super Bowl.
Well, let me ask you this question because you bring up a very good point. Because Tampa Bay cannot chase points. They cannot. It is something that is impossibility to chase points for them if they get down early.
Kansas City.
Against Kansas City, right.
Yeah,
because, by the way, Kansas City can get down early and chase points. They've shown you they can do that time and time again.
Correct.
Now, my question is, if you're the New England Patriots, I knew I'd do it. If you were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and at the coin toss, you get to call the coin toss or you win the coin toss, do you immediately defer or do you want the football so you can put points on the board first?
No, I want to. I want to put. I want the ball.
Yeah.
I want to put. I want to put Mahomes down by 7 with the first drive, and then I want them to come out and try to run the football and abandon the run really early. That's the Bucs ticket. If they can just get. And let's be very clear, Andy Reid has abandoned the run several times in the Super Bowl already.
Oh yeah.
If he could just say. And let's be clear, they can win that way because Patrick Mahomes is that special. But if they could say, you know what, we're not even going to try to run the ball. And if the Bucs can pressure Mahomes early, and therefore they have to keep an extra blocker, whether that's Travis Kelce, who's a horrific blocker, or even a back in the backfield, their backs don't block well, to keep Mahomes, upright, then the Bucs can really do some damage. By the way, that is an incredibly tall task.
Oh, without a doubt, it's a tall task. And here's the thing. I agree with you 100% that the Bucs need to come out and make a statement. They need to come out and punch Kansas City's defense in the mouth and say, this isn't the Tampa Bay Buccaneers you're thinking. This is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers led by Tom Brady, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. We're here.
But they got to do it on the ground.
Well, yeah.
Leonard Fournette's got to have, if he rushes for 100 yards, Bucs win.
I think if he rushes I think he gets anything over 70, the Bucs win.
That's fair. If they get total over 100 yards, I think they win the game. That's the only way they can win the game.
And that takes me.
If they come out and have like a 6.5-minute opening drive, the Bucs are in a great spot.
That takes me back then to the prop bet that I've been going back and forth on. Leonard Fournette over under 24.5 yards receiving.
What's it pay? That's everything with a prop bet.
Plus,
I need at least 145.
Well, it's plus 160.
Oh, I take that all day.
The over's plus 160.
Put the $50 on it.
The over's plus 160. The under is minus 120. The over's plus 160.
So you're a professional gambler. I was always taught that you totaled your points. How many not points, units you have, right?
Right.
And then you bet in units. And so I always bet. I take my big bet, which is on the game itself, whether it's a parlay or the money line, and I put 50 of my units on the big bet, and then I spread out the other 5 on different prop bets for the Super Bowl. What's your strategy?
I bet the money line. Half of what I'm going to wager, I put on the money line, and the other half of that I'm going to wager, I evenly distribute among prop bets.
All right, so it's the same philosophy.
Right, that's what I do, half and half.
So
half goes on the money line, the other
on
half.
How many prop bets you like?
Right, and right now I only like 2. Right now I only like 2. I like
the Gatorade.
I like the red Gatorade at plus 2,400. Because I think Kansas City's going to win, and they wear red. But even if Kansas City doesn't win, Tampa Bay with the pewter and burgundy or whatever it is, red and pewter, whatever it is, they could have red Kool-Aid in their coolers too. So red Gatorade in their coolers too. So I like that prop bet, and I like Leonard Fournette over 24.5 at plus 160.
How cool would it be if the Bucks came out, their creamsicle orange?
Would that not be great?
On their helmet.
Would that not be great?
I grew up. with Doug Williams as my quarterback, and Batman was a linebacker, and Leroy Selman was the defensive end. Scott Brantley was the middle linebacker, and Buddy McKay was on the sideline. One of the greatest lines of a coach has ever said. After they win, after they get their butt kicked, he had a bunch of them. But after the Bucks get destroyed, and one of the sports reporters says, "What do you think about your defensive execution?"
He goes, "I support that. Yeah, I'm for it. I support that."
I'm like, that is so fantastic.
Yeah, John McKay. That was one of the greatest lines in football history. John McKay goes, "Well, Coach, what do you think about your defense? What do you think about your defensive execution? I'm for that."
Yeah, and then his other great one is because he went from worst to first, right? And he won a division title in 6 years. And one of the reporters said, "How did you know it was going to take 6 years?" He looked at him and he said, "Well, I had a 6-year deal."
Exactly.
That is a great line.
Galen, where's the Bloodmobile today?
Hey, I've got the Bucks winning by a point in this, and we're at Every Winn-Dixie in Marion County today.
All right.
So come by and see us, and we're also at right on the boulevard. Give blood.
By the way, I got the Bucks winning by a field goal. So there you go. Thanks, Galen.
We both picked the Bucks. Gosh, I hope we're right.
Thanks,
all right, Kyle.
WOCA, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Johnson & Johnson asked the FDA to clear its experimental COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use, perhaps adding millions more doses to step up a disappointing immunization drive so far. 57.4 million vaccines are out there. Only 35.2 million have been administered. J&J's vaccine was found in the United States to be 72% effective in preventing moderate to severe COVID-19 after a single shot, and 66% effective overall in global trials. It was 100% effective in preventing hospitalization and death. The Senate approved a budget resolution early Friday morning that tees up President Biden's $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief bill for passage without Republican support. With the Senate evenly divided, Vice President Harris cast the tie-breaking vote. Lawmakers approved the resolution shortly after 5:30 a.m. local time, known as Vote-A-Rama. The resolution allows Democrats to move forward with an eventual coronavirus relief bill. USA Radio News.
Now with orders to stay at home, public health concerns, the reality of illness due to pathogens and viruses. Your health is at an all-time high risk. That's why it's critical to take a proactive approach to boost your immune system. You can with new nano-colloidal silver from Americare. Our patented process with tiny silver particles, 1/100th the size of a red blood cell, allows for maximum body absorption. Americare's nano-colloidal silver effectively disinfects your body internally, attacking pathogens and viruses while